Part 8, DNS and Office 365, because, we're talking about Office 365. So, here is our situation. You have an internal DNS that points to the domain darkside.local, and of course you also have a public DNS where you bought the domain darkside.com. So your company bought the online domain, therefore you own this domain, and internet recognizes you as the owner of the domain. The domain is yours. You can put every address record you want in it. And for instance, I put back the ADFS and the Windows application proxy. What should you do on your different DNS? On the internal one, the question is easy. You just put the IP address of the ADFS itself so that internal users can reach the ADFS directly. But on the external DNS, the ADFS is not reachable by remote users, so you want to put the address on the W.O.L.F instead, so that external users will be redirected to the W.O.L.F. And that's the answer for previous video when I was saying why external users are reaching the W.O.L.F when they are redirected to the ADFS address. That's because the external DNS redirect to the W.O.L.F and not to the ADFS. But be careful, because take the internal users. He tries to connect to Office 365. He types the URL login.microsoftonline.com on his browser. Proxy pack rules stipulates he has to reach the proxy. So the proxy provides a public IP address to the user, and that makes him able to connect to the login page. He just has to type his login. The page recognizes the domain name and knows it is a federated one. The user is then redirected to the ADFS address. But the problem is Office 365 only knows the public address of adfs.darkside.com and not the internal one, that is adfs.darkside.local. So the user wants to reach adfs.darkside.com, and if I do nothing, proxy pack rules stipulates it is an online domain and redirect the user to the proxy, from where he will connect to the external DNS. My internal user will then access the ADFS via the W.O.L.F, which is not exactly what was intended. So it can create network bottleneck on the ADFS. It destroys my internal policies. I am clearly not a fan. So if I want to get around it, I could use the split DNS, but everybody does not use split DNS, and I will not go into that in details because that's not the subject of the video. A dirty solution could be to add specifically the address adfs.darkside.com on your on your internal DNS. And I say dirty because you don't really want to mix internal addresses with external ones. They are separated for reasons. And remember to also create a specific rules on your proxy.pack, so that does not route the request to the proxy anymore, but it has to route it internal. The best solution would be that Office 365 itself recognize that the access is internal and redirect to the internal ADFS. This is called conditional access, but that's a story for another day and another video. Just remember the issue and I will be back to it. Last point about DNS. I told you previously to trust me for the domain declaration, and now is later. So remember, Darth Vader declared the domain darkside.com on the tenant, but I did not detail how he proves that he owns the domain. Well, it is very simple. He just retrieves a TXT record specifically generated by Office 365 for his domain. You do not have to know what's in the TXT record. That is just understandable by Microsoft. All you have to do is download it on your PC and upload it to external DNS. Your external domain is visible from anybody on the internet. Office 365 sees the TXT record and it proves that you are the right owner of the domain, because only a domain administrator can change domain settings. Therefore, the domain can only be yours, and Office 365 recognize he can declare the domain for you. Thank you very much. In the next video we are going to talk about the user principal name. See you soon.